How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be unboxing this brand new kit. This was just released in the last few weeks. I finally got my hands on it and I can't wait to take a look at it to share it with you guys. I've heard some really amazing things so far. So here it is. This is the Zaku II in the Char color version. Now the Zaku II is something that is nothing new to anyone. We've got probably about 1 million different kits of the Zaku II over the ages and different variations in the Zaku I and Zaku III and all sorts of Zakus, but this one is the first Zaku from Gundam The Origin. So there's a little bit different take on the Zaku design this time, some different details added here and there, some minor changes, and overall this kit is, from what I've heard, a very good kit in terms of articulation as well. So I can't wait to get this thing snapped together and see what it's going to be like. So first of all, if you guys remember from the video when I got this in the mail, it did come with this clear folder as well, but I believe that was only for like the first initial batch of them that they were sending this out. It's just black on the back and just this cool image here on the front too, so that is pretty cool that it came with that. I don't really have any use for this though, so it's probably gonna either be given away or taking up space somewhere, so there's that. But of course then here on the cover we just have the Gundam The Origin logo there, 2015 here, HG Gundam The Origin there. So let's take a look around the box. Here on the bottom we're getting the normal shots of the front and back of the kit with that new long rifle. It looks really good, and that new bazooka also looks really nice. So there's that. There's a kind of recreation of a scene from the anime, and then a little bit about this version of the Zaku II, I'm guessing. And here's a little bit about just Gundam The Origin itself. If you guys have not watched episode 1 yet, I highly recommend you go and watch that. It's really good. And then, if you haven't seen just the original Gundam series, the first Gundam, I recommend you go back and watch that while waiting for episode 2 of The Origin to drop this fall. Here on the sides, we've just got the same kind of normal thing that we come to expect from high grades, same box art there on the side. This is 001, that means it's the first first kit from Gundam The Origin. So that's pretty cool. Of course, number 2 is the Gun Tank Early type. That one also looks very nice. And then here we've got just the same action shots and details, sort of gimmicks about the kit. So here you can see it looks like it's going to have no problem holding that long rifle. It looks like we're probably going to have a dedicated hand for that. We'll have to see when we open the box. Holding the bazooka as well, you can use the, looks like it's going to have a left holding hand as well. I'm fairly certain this is not coming with an action base 2, but this is a kit that's probably going to look very good if you pick up an action base 2 for it. Then here just a little bit about the gimmicks. Looks like some really great articulation there in the stomach, the shoulders, the neck, and the mono eye of course is going to move, that's nothing new. And the elbows there as well. And then here's the weapons. Looks like we've got the long rifle, the bazooka, and the 2 different versions of a Heat Hawk, so that's pretty cool. Then a bunch of different hands there. Looks like holding hands, a trigger finger, and a rifle support hand. And then there's some markings as well. Of course they're just going to be stickers, so but if you like using stickers you can use those. Then the list price was 1,700 yen, so not bad, pretty average HG price. Let's go ahead and open it up. Here in the first bag there's those stickers. They do look quite nice actually. Some nice lining there. Of course it'd be much better if we had those in water slides, but oh well. There's one bag. Here's the second bag, more dark red and looks like some dark gray. There's the fourth bag, very dark red, gray. Fifth bag, here's going to be our piping, looks like, and some just kind of neutral gray. And the sixth bag is a small one with just a couple more parts there and some polycaps. So it looks like we're getting quite a lot of tone variation in the reds, which is normal for a Char kit, but looks like we've got even more than usual. Here's just the proof of purchase, I suppose, what you need for whatever or something, not really sure. Here's a little bit about the Gundam Revive. There's for the Gundam, there's for the gun tank, and then here's our instruction manual. So why don't we take a look at this. First thing we'll notice is that on the box art for the kit, this is a little bit cropped, but now we're getting a little bit more fuller image where we can see some more destruction going on in the background there underneath the feet as Char flies away in victory. Then here on the back, once again just mostly the same sort of stuff that we saw on the outside of the box, just covered here again, but here is where we get our markings layout so you can see where you're supposed to be placing those stickers, and then here's the color guide as well. So open it up to the middle and we get another page here just talking more about either the Zaku or the kit itself, I'm not sure, and then there a little bit about Char as well. And then here's our color page, which is actually the last page of the assembly, I'm sure, just talking about assembling the weapons. Looks like the bazooka looks pretty simple, but it is an HG, so that is to be expected, I suppose. Let's go ahead and take a look at the parts. I'm curious as to if any of these runners are going to be reused, because it looks like on these first couple runners there are a few X's. Now on A1 there is an X there, a couple X's here on A2, but that's pretty much it until we get to the polycaps. But it's no surprise to have some X's on the polycap runner, because usually there's polycaps that we don't use. Looks like we're going to be starting off pretty normal, going from the body, then the head, just a very short stage there for the head, just only a few pieces, then the waist, then the arms, the left arm, the right arm, then the feet, so going with the feet, then the left leg, and then the right leg. So pretty straightforward there. Why don't we take a closer look now at all of the runners. Starting us off with the foil stickers, we've got a very, very small sheet here, just 1, 2, 3 foil stickers. This kind of metallic pink color, I'm guessing this is going to be for the sights, for the rifle and the bazooka, and then this kind of just regular pink there is going to be for the mono eye, looks like. Always great to get an HG kit with very, very minimal stickers on the foil sticker sheet. Next, here's a closer look at those stickers there. Big A12 there, I'm guessing for the shield, and then a couple other really nice Char markings there, and of course the lining that we've been seeing on a lot of the more recent Zaku kits, and then just some other just kind of general markings. It's basically like a simplified version of the markings you get with the RG. And here's our polycap runner, PC001 from 2008. So as we saw in the manual, there's going to be quite a few X's here on some of that, I think it was here. But we're not going to be using all of these, so you are going to have some extra polycaps to add to your collection. Alright, starting us off with the A1 runner, this is marked HD 144 scale Zaku Origin, so it's not particular to the Char custom, of course. As you can see, we've got the 2 different heads there, so it's quite obviously going to be used for a non-commander type as well. And as you can see, we're not getting the full runner, so that's one thing I noticed as I was taking all the runners out of the bags, is that pretty much all of the runners here are not full runners, so there's definitely going to be a lot of recycling through different Origin kits, I think, as we get different versions of the Zaku coming out from that. So that's quite alright, because as we can see so far here, the detail is looking really, really nice. Some really great details in terms of panel lines and just small details there. I don't really like that this shoulder armor is just a sandwich piece, so that means that there's going to be a pretty hideous panel line there running across the middle of that shoulder, across the top of that, but just means you're just going to have to do a little bit of seam line removal, but it's not really too big of a deal. This color is kind of salmon, but it's a little bit darker. It's definitely a little bit darker than that, so kind of a darkish salmon, I guess. So that's the A1 runner. Here's the A2 runner, and this is definitely in the darker red. That's very, very similar to the dark red that's used in the real grade Zaku II, so it's quite comparable to that. Later, I have one of those around, so later on when I do the review I'll compare it to that so you can see how those colors compare. But once again, looks like some great details here, and the other thing that I'm noticing is that a lot of the nubs, or a lot of the gates, look pretty nice, and their placement looks pretty good as well, as they're not exactly undergated but definitely placed like low on the side of parts, so that it should be pretty easy to clean those up. Here's the B1 runner, and we're still running with the same marking here, just Zaku The Origin on the side of there, and it's not even marked Zaku II, actually, it's just marked Zaku. But this is in just a kind of neutral, kind of regular German gray kind of color. It's just parts for the feet, the middle of the chest, the knees, elbows, and then one part there, I'm guessing that's for under the neck as well. B2, just a tiny little guy. This is in just a different shade of red once again, so this is the 3rd shade of red that we got. This is just basically a very normal red, so just a basic red color here for the backpack. That's once again similar to the RG, it had a different shade of red basically just for the backpack. So looks like that's carrying on here. These 2 parts I'm not quite sure what those are for, I'll just have to see. Those might be as well for the backpack, but yeah, okay, yeah, it does look like there. So B2, backpack parts. Alright, now here's the C runner, and a couple curious things about the C runner. Number one, this is back to the same kind of salmonish color that we had on the first runner. So we're back to the same color. This is obviously all of the parts for the piping on the legs, the waist, and around the head. The thing that's interesting about this is that it is very malleable. It's definitely softer. It's not super soft like rubber, but it's definitely a much softer plastic than the normal kits, like the normal runners, the rest of the runners that are in here. So it's quite interesting that they decided to go with this for these parts. We'll have to see how that's going to make any difference in their posability. As you can see, these parts here for the waist section, it looks like it is segmented to kind of make up for the bending around the waist. So it doesn't really look that good like this, but once it's actually on the kit, we'll have to see how that looks. Here's the D1 runner, and looks like now we're getting a lot of like the joint parts, as this is molded in a gray, but it's definitely more of like a silver gray, so it's different from the the B runner we had before. That was in just a neutral gray. This is definitely a little bit more of like a silver brownish gray, so looks pretty nice. This again is like, seems similar to that new kind of softer finish that they're doing for a lot of these like gray frame parts and stuff like that for the recent kits. It's not exactly the same, but it is kind of similar to that. And then D2 runner is just copied of this portion of the D1 runner. And just one thing to note about these two, again, we're still seeing this area where we're missing some parts there that are going to be used in future different versions of the Zaku. Here's the E1 runner, and it looks like this is back to the same salmon color again, so that means that we're going to have a total of 3 different shades of red, basically the salmon color and the darker red for the main body and the regular red for the backpack. So very similar to the RG. I think the RG did have one more shade, but it is an RG after all. This is only an HG. Again, some really great details here on the legs, especially these thigh parts here, some great panel lines and details there. The panel lines on the arms as well look really nice. Everything's looking very, very nice here. And finally, the last runner we've got here is the F runner. It's by far the largest runner, as it is, I think, basically the only one that was a totally full runner. And as you can see, this is basically all the parts for the weapons and the hands here as well. The hands look really nice, and the weapons look really amazing. Here's those extra bazooka ammo packs, and then there's the long rifle, there's the bazooka, there's the heat hawks, and then looks like a couple other parts there maybe as well. I think this maybe goes under the neck, on top of the chest, something like that. Once again, this is also labeled HG 144 scale, Zaku Origin, so all the runners are marked with that marking. Nothing is marked as a Char Custom, nothing is marked as a Zaku II. Interesting, but we'll just have to see basically just how much these get recycled. We know at least a lot of these parts are going to be recycled for the upcoming Black Tri-Stars version, the high mobility type Zaku. And then after that, there is going to be the different couple versions of the Goof, but those might be reusing maybe a couple of like the joint runners, like what was that, D? But other than that, I'm guessing those are going to be a lot of new parts, probably marked Goof Origin, so I don't know, we'll have to see. So that is it for unboxing the HG Zaku II Char's Custom from Gundam The Origin. It looks really, really awesome. I really can't wait to see how this is going to look once it's all put together. Once again, if any of you guys want these stickers, just let me know. I'll mail them to you. I'm not going to use them, so there's no point in me keeping them if someone else can make use of them. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the review.